Hey guys! So today's video is hopefully not going to be terribly long. I am traumatized by the incredible length of all of my videos. I'm sure you guys are too. But we're going to be talking about several things today. Today's video is actually a couple of different things. We are going to get to some doll issues. What are you doing? Come on. Let's go ahead and say hi and get it out of the way, huh? So today's video, we're actually going to talk about a couple of issues in the doll community. Personally, I'm not one who is, I don't find enjoyment in drama or, spilling the tea or whatever you'd like to call it. It's not really my thing. I tend to mind my own business and keep to myself, but we are going to talk about some of the drama that's been going on in the doll community, because while I'm not 100% comfortable talking about it, I feel like it's almost more socially irresponsible to ignore it. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some new hair dyeing that I did. We are going to talk about answers to some of your questions when it comes to hair dyeing and doll stuff. We are going to talk about so many things, and let's talk about the drama. So I think the first point of drama wasn't even that serious, but it is something that I have a lot of questions about. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. So recently, an Instagrammer who I don't think they worked for Target. I think either they had like a significant other or a family member who worked for Target, and the family member had sent them, I guess, like a picture of Target's system where it lists some Rainbow High colors that we have not seen yet, giving us very definitive hints towards series 3. We will talk about that in a little bit. But it also is an issue of, so they share this screen cap, and it's really kind of funny because what happened was, I guess it made it over to Facebook. I don't know if they shared it or someone else did, but there was a Facebook person like in one of the groups who was very quick to jump in and say, it's irresponsible to share this leak, you shouldn't have done it. I've had trouble with MGA before. I'm worried that they might try to come at me thinking that I had something to do with this leak, since I've had a history with them and leaking their products and I've been in trouble. It's very irresponsible to share this leak, especially this early on. Like series 2 really just kind of came out last month, which I don't know why they would think that, because this person, they don't, as far as I know, don't live in the same areas, don't have anything to do with each other, have never met, are not friends or following each other or whatever. But the person was very, the Facebooker was very concerned that the person from Instagram sharing the leak was somehow going to lead this trouble to their front door, that, they just really kind of went on about this. And then, they did resort to some name calling. It wasn't like the super harsh, curse wordy, awful stuff, but it was still kind of childish and immature. And I mean, these are grown people in adult collector groups. These are people who have, jobs and mortgages and, children of their own. And they're, this person is very much behaving inappropriately for their age, for the situation. I guess maybe if they've been in trouble a lot, why they would be worried. But at the same time, I don't see how any of it could have been traced back to them, but whatever. It is what it is. So they get onto this Instagrammer about the social irresponsibility of it, which begs the question. So we've seen a lot of leaks from Asian websites such as, AliExpress, Wish, Taobao. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, so please forgive me because I'm kind of dumb. I should have looked it up before I made this video, but I didn't think about it. But we've seen like leaks on there. We've seen head molds we haven't seen before, or shoe molds, or makeup designs on different doll lines, not even just Rainbow High, but on different doll lines. A lot of the OMG leaks come from those, where people who work in the factories have taken home factory rejects, or dolls have otherwise made their way from the factory to an outside source before it was time for them to go to retail stores and have been sold. Again, these could be dolls that they practiced on, so they have bad rooting or mismatched colors or defects, but it's how we've gotten a lot of our leaks. So in this case, it came directly from an American store worker, and it begs the question, what is the reasonable amount of expected privacy that a company like MGA has in this case? You know, are they going to go and find this one target worker and punish them for taking a picture of upcoming retail information? Is it worth it? Is it even a big deal? All it's doing is getting people hyped up to buy more dolls. Like, if anything, MGA should be like, do it. Let us leak it for you. They should, I'm not gonna say be grateful, but like, I don't see that it's negatively affecting them. But at the same time, as somebody who has owned a business, if I had something coming up that I was really excited about and I wanted to share and someone shared it for me or ahead of me, and not in the way that I was hoping to share it, like, I would probably be really upset. Like, I'd be really sad. So, you know, I guess it can go either way. I don't know if MJ is going to be concerned about it. I don't know if they're going to care. I certainly have seen nothing happen to this. But the main problem is that when you see somebody post something, if you don't like it or you don't agree with it, just scroll past it. You don't have to attack them. You don't have to be crappy to them. Just scroll on. Move along with your day. So that's that drama. Now for the second drama, was a bit more serious, and again, like, I didn't get involved in it. A friend had pointed out to me, because otherwise I would not have noticed, but a YouTuber from the doll community had done a video with their opinions on the issues of racial diversity. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out there. I don't watch this YouTuber. I haven't seen their video. I'm unsure of what the entire content of it is. I think I've seen one video by this person and like I didn't really care for it, so I'll get into that later. But anyway, so I don't really 100% know the situation, only what my friend has kind of filled me in on. But the person had spoken up about their, I guess, opinions on the racial diversity of dolls and doll lines, the big issue going around in the doll community right now of the expectation for quality and diversity. Why do we have to sacrifice one to have the other? And that's a whole nother long conversation here in a minute. But for now, I think the big issue that comes down to it is we have a person who is not a person of color, but they are giving their personal opinion on their personal YouTube channel, and someone who is a person of color from Instagram, a very popular Instagrammer, steps in and says, you know, you're not a person of color, you do not collect dolls of color, I don't think that you have the right to speak on how this issue of diversity and equality affects people of color. Now, yes, you're allowed to give your opinion, especially on your personal channel, your personal Facebook, your personal Instagram, whatever, but because these things are still very public, it is almost unreasonable to expect for people to not share their opinion with you on your opinion. So if you say something that offends, you know, you're still going to be held responsible for that. And claiming that, you know, you have a mental illness or disorder does not negate you from being responsible for what you've said or done. Because apparently that was like an issue. Like, I can't 100% speak on this because, again, I didn't watch the person's video. I didn't really watch most of the Instagrammers' response to it. It is really only that they said, you know, you're not a person of color, you don't speak for us, you can't just give your opinion and expect for people of color not to say this is why we disagree. It was a big dramatic mess. So, but the main thing to this is, again, it boils down to, you know, these are grown people. Like I said, they have jobs, mortgages, children, whatever, and they're verbally attacking each other. So there was like name calling, there was crying, there was, you guys are adults, what is going on? Like, yes, we play with dolls, which is a very, like, I guess, like, childlike thing, but we're grown-ups. Like, why the name calling? I understand getting upset. Like, sometimes I'll see a comment on like an Instagram or like one of my YouTube videos where I'm just like, but I'm not going to just call that person a name because I don't like what they said. Like, if anything, I can delete the comment if I just don't want to deal with it, which I have before. Like, if a comment is just like really rude and unnecessary, I just delete it. I don't respond to it. I don't continue fighting, because how do you have time for that? Amongst your jobs and your children and your mortgage paying, how do you have time to argue with somebody on the internet and act childish? Like, I don't understand that. So I had only saw a portion of the Instagram person's response. What I saw wasn't necessarily unreasonable, but again, like I watched like a very small portion. I didn't watch all of it. My friend mentioned that there had been name calling, that there had been, you know, just kind of hateful comments about the person's lifestyle, appearance, etc. I don't know, but the point is, grown-ups are acting like children, and it's not cute, it's not funny, it's not, and people are feeding into it, and they're encouraging these people to continue acting that way, which is another bothersome thing. But on the issue of diversity versus quality, okay, so as a Mexican American person with indigenous ancestry, there are certain issues with diversity where I will speak out, such as people implying that dolls like Sunny, who are not super dark but are not super light, are just tanned white people, versus a representation of indigenous people, or a representation of, you know, Indonesian people or Middle Eastern people or Hispanic and Latin people, who, yes, all of these ethnicities come in a variety of shades, but a lot of it is included in that kind of middle ground shade, like that shade that's not the darkest dark or the lightest light. And they're basically, you know, people that they're saying that those people don't count, or that they're just tanned white people, and I think that is very, very offensive. But other than that, I tend not to speak out on the issue of doll diversity unless I am asked to join in on speaking with the people who are affected by it the most. So if Black people or people who are the darker shades are like, hey, we want people to stand with us and tell these companies, make more dolls with darker skin tones, give us more representation, I am more than happy to step up beside them and use my voice to help amplify theirs. However, I will not go and speak over top of them. I will not speak without listening to what they have to say. And if they come in and they say, you know, we see what you said and it's, you know, not appropriate for the situation, this is how it's affecting us, what you said is not okay, I'm not going to double down on it. Like, I'm going to listen to them and try to understand what they're saying and why they're saying it and correct myself. Other than that, though, I tend to stay in my lane until I'm asked otherwise. But you should be allowed to give your opinion. You just have to know that you're going to be held responsible for it, and that's just what it is. So all of that drama. So in all of this, let's get past it, okay? Let's talk about these color leaks. These color leaks from that first little dramatic segment are gorgeous, you guys. Like, I don't know if Rainbow House is going to give us everything we've been asking for, but the color leaks we have rose, which could go either way. It could be pink, it could be red. People are speculating that it is one of the backgrounder boys. We have peach. We've seen a backgrounder girl, but she's a little more orange. We would love to see her skin tone in a peach, I think. And when I say we, I mean like the majority of what I've seen in the doll collecting communities. So I'm saying we is a general doll collector term. It's a very kind of blanket, but I should say, personally, I would love to see a girl with peach coloring in a darker skin tone. There is mint, which we've seen again a backgrounder, but she's a little more teal than mint, but everybody was really kind of in love with her. It would be really great to see someone mint in a darker skin tone, because I do think that darker skin tones really kind of burst with that pastel. Like, it looks beautiful. Then again, we have the last two. Oh yeah, so it was peach, rose, mint. I feel like I'm missing one. I was actually forgetting the most important one, and I say that in kind of like, because everybody's been really hype about her. Marigold was one of the colors that was talked about, and it, when you kind of look it up, very much matches that backgrounder that we all call like Cher. I think some people even call her Amber, which is a completely different character, by the way. But she's very much like the Clueless looking doll, because she's wearing that kind of Cher from Clueless colored outfit. Everybody has in the groups have been just clamoring for this doll. So many people want her. So Marigold hopefully represents her. We will see a doll version of her. If not, we're going to keep demanding MGA. We're not letting it go. And then we also have Ice and Orchid, which very easily could be Aiden and Ainsley, which I think is what everybody's hoping for. I think a lot of people expected them to kind of come in a play set or like a 2-pack. I honestly would prefer them to come separate so that they get their second outfit versus being something like with Avery or even series 1 of Maya, who only came with the one outfit, or Avery, I mean, she had all these like kind of mixed match clothes, but like, I don't know, like I would love to see Aiden and Ainsley have their own individual dolls with 2 outfits, 2 pairs of shoes. So those are the color leaks. Again, I don't know if anything will happen to the person who leaked it. Probably not. I feel like if they were going to get like a cease and desist, they would have already. But I just want to thank them on the down low for giving us that information, because it really has just gotten everyone ramped up to go buy more dolls, and including me, because those light colors are going to die beautifully. I just want to get that out there. Plus, you know, everybody else has been darker, so it's not like you could dye them lighter. And honestly, when you have arthritis, rerouting is not the way to go. Alright guys, so let's talk about my own personal dolls and the dyeing that I've done this week, because that's why I'm actually here. Okay, so I shared on Instagram some of the dyes I was doing this week, which included a unicorn hair look, a rainbow hair look, and a peacock hair look. And so I did do those 3 things, as well as I did like some testing to kind of answer some of your questions. Some of the questions I received are, does semi-permanent dye like Manic Panic leach the way that the cheaper hair dye does? I gave it a shot, which I'll show the results in the next video because it's not really ready yet, because I still have to do the other side now, but it very much did not leach, and I think it's because it's a thicker formula. And I tried 2 different sections, which again I will show you guys video in the next video. Does putting Vaseline on the hair keep it from leaching? It seemed to, but since it wasn't really like the Manic Panic wasn't leaching to begin with, like I'm not really sure, because I did a section where there was Vaseline and where there wasn't. It didn't seem to make a difference either way, but I don't know if it would work keeping the cheaper hair dye from bleeding. I will say that the Vaseline, like on their foreheads and stuff, does seem to keep down the staining. It does seem to keep the hair dye from leaching into their forehead. So I imagine it's going to be the same with the hair, but their hair, similar to like fabrics and threads and whatever, is almost cylindrical. So even if you coat the outside, could it somehow travel on the inside? I don't think so. But I can't say for sure. So that is something I'm going to be experimenting on some more this week. The other question I got asked was, so I had another person who, much like myself, they tried to dye their Poppy kind of a dark, like a dark blonde, or like a dirty blonde, I guess it's called. And with her orange and pink, they came out in streaks of like green and lavender. And so I was asked if there was a way, because this person tried to use the coral Rit dye, which is kind of an orangey color, to help tone that out. It didn't really work. I will say I ended up using I think it was the tangerine orange, and her green has turned into like a golden blonde, and the lavender is completely gone and is kind of a ginger color. So I ended up using that darker orange. I kind of left her in longer than I was 100% comfortable with. I was really worried that it was going to turn darker than what I wanted, but it's a very lovely ginger color. I think on camera it still kind of looks greenish, but in person it just looks blonde or kind of light brown. So I would say go with that darker orange color if you're toning, because it's a really weird thing with one of the other dolls, like with the color wheel, it doesn't always come out the way you think it's going to with the dye. So in this case it did. The orange balanced out the green and the purple. It worked okay. One of the other questions I got asked about dye was, where a doll's hair started off green, if we add purple, does the purple take, or does it kind of cancel each other out and make it muddy? What you can do is you can take that green to a blue and then add the purple to the blue. However, it may be a little darker than you want, so that's something to consider, but it may come in better and less muddy. Now, in the peacock hair that I did, okay, so first of all, you guys remember Mermaid Hair Jade? The colors that I was using for the peacock hair were very similar, but I did not use the same technique. I didn't use that kind of bent, like dipping gradient hair. I did the piece by piece similar to the galaxy hair that I did last video, and this is what we got. So this is a mixture of the dark blue and the purple, because I did do a blue or a teal first over this original green, which is why it's this darker green already. But there are sections where you can see are very obviously purple, some that are very obviously blue. Then you've got the neon green, some streaks are lighter and brighter, some are more teal. So it did turn out very peacock colored on this lovely Karma. She is getting an eye change once I'm brave enough to do that. But I did do a blue first and then the purple over it, just so that it didn't turn muddy. I will say, okay, so throwback to the YouTuber I mentioned earlier who made the diversity video that wasn't well received necessarily by people of color, but I had seen one of their videos, and it's one of the reasons why I didn't really ever watch any of the rest of them, where they did an eye swap and they just kept burning themselves with hot water, and it was very like traumatizing. I mean, not even to use that lightly, like it made me really scared to attempt to do the eye swap. I've since seen a video from another YouTuber, I'll link it down below, where they do a much more reasonable, sensible way to swap the eyes that even includes not getting the doll's hair wet so that you can maintain their styles. I am going to give it a try, perhaps next video. I keep telling myself I'm going to do it, but I'm kind of scared to be honest. So I mean, it's something to look forward to. Hopefully I'll be brave enough to do it. So you had seen where I did the piece by piece galaxy hair. I actually went back, since some of the blue was very light, and added the emerald Rit dye to just brighten it up, and I did finally make her some galaxy clothes. For whatever reason, while I don't feel this way about other doll lines like OMG, with Rainbow High, I feel like their clothes have to stick to their color scheme, and I've tried to go outside of that a little bit, but my brain is like, no, it has to be the same. And speaking of clothes, I was asked, do the Hair Adorable, Hair Amazing clothes fit? Most of them do not. I recently got the fashion pack. It was like $10 on Amazon. The shirt was really obviously too small. The coat did fit. The skirt is very stretchy and did fit and fastened just fine in the back. I don't know if you can even see it, but it overlapped just fine in the back. The shoes fit. I did cut off the T-strap because their feet aren't as long as Hair Amazing or Monster High, Ever After High, Bratzilla's, etc., so it would crimp up. So I did kind of remove that little T-strap, but most of the shoes fit fine. Most of the clothes do not fit. These are very slender dolls. They're very Monster High body sized. So those two can share clothes. Ever After High can share their clothes. Bratzilla's a little, but their clothes really, for the most part, don't have a lot of stretch. Alright, you guys know that I've been dying for chocolate brown Stella. I could not get her dark enough last time. She came out kind of burgundy maroonish. And I didn't hate it. I debated keeping her that way, but I was determined to have a chocolate brown Stella. She does still have like some kind of burgundy color to her hair, but for the most part it's a beautiful chocolate brown. I did one of Bella's outfits and the tights in that same color. These shoes are Bratzilla's, but they fit beautifully. So she kind of matches me. I'm excited about it. I just used chocolate brown Rit dye. I did the boil method this time. It went way better. Alright, so, and then the last two dolls that I dyed, again, I used very much the same method as I showed you in the previous video, where I would kind of like bend their hair and dip down sections in order to get a smooth gradient. I really wanted to do a rainbow haired doll. I had very much planned on selling it when I created it. It wasn't something I was going to keep because I was like, Maya has rainbow hair, etc. And I needed another cheer sunny because like I have two of each doll, one regular and one dyed. I wanted to do the peach girl. This is before I found out about the leak with there going to be someone who's peach. So I just felt like there weren't enough yellow and oranges really in the group, so I wasn't going to keep this cheer sunny. I was terribly wrong. She's gorgeous. I'm keeping her. It's happening. So I did this dip dye rainbow gradient with the yellow of her original hair into green, into blue, into some purple, and into a bright pink. Hence her crazy rainbow outfit. I dyed a pair of Bella's tights yellow. She's got Skylar's shoes, Crystal's skirts, Stella's shirt, Jade's coat. Wanted to get all those same colors in there, but it turned out really cute, you guys. And I erased her decals and reblushed her. It's happening. I'm keeping her. We'll just see what the future holds for getting a peach doll. The other one I did was, again, another kind of rainbow gradient, but I don't know about you guys, I've been dying for pastels. And again, I did these like a couple of days before I found out about this pastel leak with the mint and the peach and, you know, who knows what color rose is. It could be like a soft romantic, you know, kind of medium pink, but look at these pastels. I did the unicorn hair Bella. I cut off her leggings and sewed them to make them kind of like bicycle shorts. These are Barbie shorts. The shirt is honestly kind of a surprise fit, and I wouldn't expect their other clothes to fit, but it's Snapstar, same as the purse. Hair adorable unicorn shoes. I absolutely love her. Now I want to say that I couldn't fit yellow in her hair because I did such a large amount of purple and blue. And her hair is a little bit shorter than Sunny's, as you can see. So I didn't have room for the yellow on this side that I wanted to do, but the difference between these two, this was done boiling, which is why the colors are much more vibrant. This was done with a quick swish in the sink, like very, very quick. I didn't leave it in for very long, so that's why it's pastel. I don't need another Bella. I have, this is number 4. I have Gray Bella, I have Galaxy Bella, I have Original Bella, and now I'm keeping this one too. So that's another part of the reason why I'm going to attempt eye swaps. We will see how that goes. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of rambly and all over the place, trying to fit in a week's worth of crazy information all in one video. They kind of run longer than I mean for them to, but hopefully you like it. You'll like, subscribe. You can follow me on TikTok, which I will link below now because I kind of switched it over and I'm doing some doll stuff. I'll throw down my Instagram in case you want to follow me there. You can hit that bell to get notifications every time I post a video if you really like them. Give me some more experiments. Tell me, what are your questions for hair dyeing? Would you like to see an eye swap video? What would you like to see in the future? I am gonna, you know, I did one revealing my collections, telling you all my favorites. I don't know what else to do, you guys. Give me some ideas. I will see you guys next week. Until then, have a good, drama-free, happy, doll-filled, wonderful week.